All right, you've been wanting to do it for years. You finally joined that boxing gym or that MMA gym. What is the first thing that you have to learn to do, the most basic skill that you have to have that is very hard to figure out because nobody really teaches you? How to wrap your hands. So first things first, you gotta get a pair of hand wraps. These are kind of your most traditional hand wraps that you can find anywhere on the internet or at your local boxing or MMA gym. They're very standard. They're a little bit thicker and they're not the longest hand wraps, so they're kind of that in between. So I'm gonna show you exactly how to wrap your hands. Number one, they always come with Velcro, so you can keep them nice and rolled up. Undo the Velcro and fling it on out there. Bring it on back. There's always going to be some kind of insignia that'll tell you, hey, this side down or back or something like that. Or you can just take a look at the stitching and how it is folded over right here. You'll know that that side goes down. Usually comes with a loop. That loop goes through your thumb and you're gonna put it across the wrist. As you can see, this side down right here goes down on top of the wrist, or you have those creases right there that go on top of the wrist. Now, me knowing that this is somewhat of a thick wrap and it's not the longest wrap, I'm gonna go a couple times over the wrist, a couple times over the knuckles and through the fingers. First thing, pull it taut. You're gonna feel the thumb, pull a little bit, keep that thumb tight, keep it in a neutral position, pull it across, over one, somewhat down to where the ending of your wrap wants to be, and then one closer to the hand to lock it in. If you pull that thumb down, you're gonna feel it tighten up. That's what you want. You want it to tighten up a little bit, but not too tight. Remember, we want to protect the hands by putting layers and structure over top of it, but not make it so tight that 10, 20 minutes into your boxing session that your hand goes numb. Trust me, I've done that before. There's a couple different techniques that will ensure that that doesn't happen. So once you've gone around twice around the wrist, we're bringing it up to the pinky finger. Now, when I say cover the knuckles, I don't just want to bring it to the knuckles, I want to bring it over top of the knuckles, almost to this second joint right here. If this is your first joint, you want to bring it almost to the second joint there. The reason is when we go through the fingers, we want to bring that fabric down to the punching, kind of the punching platform where your punches are going to land. So it goes almost to the second knuckle right there, spreading your fingers and spreading your thumb the entire time. Go around twice so you have a little bit of extra padding there, and then back down to the wrist. Now, we're going through the fingers. Now, this is very important. This is where a lot of people mess up and make their wraps too tight. I'm not going through my finger and wrenching it down. I'm going to my finger where it's somewhat taut, then I'm squeezing it. The reason is I don't want to pull this any further and make it any tighter, because if I pull it here and make it really tight right here and I go across, when I squeeze my fingers down, it's gonna make everything way too tight and I'm gonna lose circulation into my hand. So by doing the wrap through the finger and then squeezing it, making sure this doesn't get any more tight, I bring it across. Now I open it up, same thing through the middle finger, somewhat tight, not crazy tight, squeeze. Lock it down so it can't get any tighter, bring it across. If you get a little wrinkle right there, get that wrinkle off. If you're like me, I'm a little bit anal, I like my wraps to look good. Now I open it up. Now through the last one, just tight, tight, tight right there, not crazy tight, but just a little tick, 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 and then squeeze, go across. Once again, like I said, when you get these folds, unfold them, make them look good. If you're using my testimonial or my tutorial, make sure they look good, okay? Make sure you look like you know what you're doing. Then, now that we've done that, once again, I can kind of make a fist, open, realize it's not too tight. Now I go through the thumb here to make sure I got a little bit of thumb protection. Now back over to the wrist, and that Velcro goes back right onto the Velcro. So this is what it should somewhat look like. Now the way that I do it, you're going to have a nice little open patch right here. Putting fabric through here on the palm of your hand is not going to give you any protection. It's only going to give you bulk. So you don't want to have a lot of fabric here, because then you're going to find yourself in a position where you can't really close your hand that well because it feels like you're holding on to a big old washcloth right here. You want as little of fabric on your hands as possible. So as you can see, we went twice over the knuckles, 1, 2, 3, through the thumb or through the fingers. When I squeeze that, you can see I got a nice little padding on top of the knuckles. And this is the best, most basic way to wrap your hands with a traditional boxing hand wrap, Muay Thai hand wrap, so you can get going on your combat sports journey. So go out there, practice it a couple times. Don't get discouraged when you can't do it. Watch this video about 55 times, because that's what I had to do when I was first learning how to do it. Then all of a sudden it becomes second nature and you know what you're doing. Thank you so much. God bless. I'll see you at the top.